Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Oh, welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Chinook Seedery. This is episode 540. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
KC, how are we?
So I was thinking earlier today, and I mentioned to you before we hopped on, I said I got something food related for you, which I know you love.
Always in on.
You love talking food. I love talking food. I'd venture to say most people listening and or watching also enjoy talking food. My question for you, this is what I was thinking about earlier today.
Okay.
This is a thought I had earlier today. This is sort of what I was thinking about. Just, as I'm going about my day, this thought comes to me. Okay, I'm done. All right. No, here's really my thought. The whole 999 challenge that, has seemingly become more popular over the last handful of years.
Sure.
I'm just going to go ahead and say, typically I would say I'm not going to speak for you, but I think I'm going to go ahead and speak for you and say that neither of it, well, one, I don't drink beer, but two, for you, I don't think you're doing this either. Is that safe to say?
Very safe to say.
No shot Nate's doing the 999 challenge.
I don't think I could have more than 3 hot dogs.
And if you don't know what the 999 challenge is, 9 hot dogs, 9 beers in 9 innings. Here's my thought. Here's my question. Is there something that you could substitute out for beer and hot dogs that you could do in 9 innings? Sort of a little customization, but you're still doing a 999 challenge, just your version of it.
Well, I do know 9 Dr. Peppers is absolutely in the cards for me. That's absolutely in the cards.
Okay, that's a good start. So 9 Dr. Peppers. What do you adding to the mix here in this 9 inning stretch?
It's tough, man. It's tough. I don't know, because what else out there is the equivalent to a hot dog that you find at
it doesn't have to be an equivalent though. This is your exercise.
Is this at the park, or can I open it up to? Can I open up the realm?
In the park, but or it could be something that maybe you fit 9 in. Just looking behind you here, behind myself, if you could fit 9 of those single-use Chinook seed bags in. Maybe you count that.
That'd be wild.
You think there's anything in the ballpark you could eat 9 of in a 9-inning regulation game?
Cotton candies. I haven't had it in a long time, but I'd assume it's pretty light.
Laura in the chat, 9 Cokes, 9 ice creams, 9 nachos. That
9 nachos is tough because
well, hold on. Here's the thing.
Jalapenos and
Laura's adding a whole other layer to this, because it's usually the traditional 999 challenge is 9 beers, 9 hot dogs, 9 innings. She's going, no, I'll take the 9 Cokes, 9 ice creams, 9 nachos. I like cotton candy. That's a good answer.
It's light. It's light.
That's a lot of sugar though.
Yeah. Packed in with the Dr. Pepper.
With Dr. Peppers, yeah, that might be diabetes by the end of the day, but it's doable.
Sure. I do like nachos too. I don't know. Because I don't think burgers is a fair swap.
Absolutely. I would take my chances with hot dog. I'd throw up either way.
Can we find Uncrustables somewhere in the park?
Now that's the move. 9 Dr. Peppers, 9 Uncrustables, and 9 innings.
I could do that.
You could try that from home. Honestly,
I could do that.
You could swing that from home. You don't need to be at the ballpark.
I could do that. I've got that in me for sure.
I'll give you the out too. I want you to try that, and I'll give you the out of Diet Dr. Pepper so that you're not actually getting diabetes.
I don't like the taste.
All right, well then we'll we'll run our risk with the blood sugar. But
I'll
I want
send
you
you
to
the doctor bill.
I want you to give it a shot. All right, I like that. Uncrustables, Dr. Pepper, and a 9-inning regulation game. I'm about it.
Yeah.
You said
Sounds
you had
good.
some. You said you
good.
had something food related for us before we get into ball talk.
I mean, I think it's just a very budget friendly order. We're recording late on a Thursday. Daddy hasn't eaten yet. Wife is at a happy hour with a girlfriend. Hey, what if we swing through McDonald's on the way home? And here's why it's a reasonable question.
I'm tired of the shaming of McDonald's, by the way. Like
I am too. It's
every
like
now and
Nickelback.
then,
Like, relax, people.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the key. Okay, you can get like a $5 meal, and you get a McDouble, small fry, 4-piece McNugget, and a small drink. $5.
Yep.
Hit me with 2 of those. One with the McDouble, one with the spicy McChicken. $10. I mean, for that quantity.
I feel like you'd be one of those would be sufficient, but to each their own.
I've found that 1.5 is about right. So what we do is we get 3.
Jackpot.
Bingo, and we share it. So you're welcome. Secret's out. You don't have to go there and it costs $18 anymore. It is absurd. What?
That's why you got to use the app. The McDonald's app is where you get all the savings. I'm here to save you a buck.
You are a big app guy.
King of the coupon.
You are.
Let's talk ball.
Is that why we're here?
Yeah. I think we just need to cut the cord and just go all in on the food podcast. We've been teasing that for years at this point. I mean, we could talk like
just know it so well.
Food at the ballpark if we really wanted to incorporate baseball into it. But at the end of the day, I think we just need to go all in on the food podcast. Nonetheless, though, we're going to talk ball tonight. And Nate, let me just remind you that we have essentially arrived at the end of May, which I think we can all agree as baseball fans, we as a result are now upon June. I think we can all agree there. And with that knowledge, I think we can also state the obvious in that now that we are in the month of June, we can no longer in our discourse about the happenings in Major League Baseball or with our respective
filler words tonight,
with our respective favorite team, we can no longer say that it's early. We are now a third of the way through the season. I did the math myself.
I don't think I like hearing that out loud.
Does that not, that doesn't make you feel good?
Doesn't sit well.
We're a third of the way through the season. Many teams are, what did I say? What was the math I was doing? I think a majority of teams have played 55-ish, give or take. Yeah, 50. Yeah, we'll just call it 55. I'm seeing that's sort of the average around the league. 55 games, third of the way through the season. It's no longer early. And we are going to talk about the league that coming into the season, I don't think many people really knew what was going to happen. And I think we're still at a point in the year, only being a third of the way through, where I don't think we've gotten much clarity on what exactly is going to happen. But we have a third of the season's worth to talk about with the American League. So, Nate, let's dive into the American League. What's happening around the American League? What's jumping out at you? What's sticking out to you? What's disappointing you?
How much it stinks. How underwhelming it is.
But that can be an observation.
Level, dude.
But that can be an observation, but it can't. It doesn't mean it has to be a surprise. We knew that it was going to be underwhelming, but you're saying not to this level.
Not to this level. Not to this level. I mean, this is
what is it about it that's throwing you off?
There's just teams that I had better expectations for. There's teams that I don't think are as bad as their record says. But then when you watch them and you look at the stats, you're like, that's pretty bad. You know what I mean? Like if you were to tell me, if you were to talk to somebody that hasn't watched baseball at all this season, or hasn't watched a single pitch, and you just went through some teams that are under 500, you'd be like, no way. I get that they didn't have the best offseason. I get that they are in a weaker league and or division. I get this, I get that. But there's no way you look at these teams and you're just like, how are you weighing down the league this bad?
I've got a nugget for you. A team that I think falls in that category, the Baltimore Orioles, and I don't want to pick on the Orioles too much. We've taken our shots in the recent days, recent weeks.
They're dead.
But a team that you thought, how in the world could you be weighing down this league, specifically the American League, so bad?
Yeah.
In my Boston Red Sox.
Another one.
And looking at the Baltimore Orioles at currently sitting at 19-36, 16 games back of the division. It's not even June. 16 games back in the division. My aforementioned Red Sox are closer to the Baltimore Orioles than they are to the New York Yankees. The fourth place Boston Red Sox, who I'm not going to call them dead just yet, but who many, myself included, had them making a run in the postseason, possibly winning the division, possibly even ending up in the World Series. And again, a lackluster American League, are currently closer to the Baltimore Orioles, who, by the way, only have one more win in the win column than the Chicago White Sox, who, need I remind you, were the worst team in baseball last season. What is happening in the American League right now? And then your point, what was it last episode about the Yankees somehow being better? I don't think you were. I think
I wasn't in that camp before the season.
No, but I think when I heard that, I think I sort of
You scoffed.
I scoffed, and what felt like for good reason. But then I'm digging around a little bit, and I'm like, hold the phone.
Is there something here?
9-1 in their last 10, and then I'm digging around. Your point about them not necessarily needing the home run, them manufacturing runs. I'm sitting there watching a game that they played. Who they play last night? The Angels. I think they swept the Angels. Doing exactly what you're saying. I'm like, okay, maybe this team, whether or not they're going to be better, is we'll see. But they definitely have a different identity than they did last year.
Leading all of baseball in run differential.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And then
sizable lead in that category.
Not that we have to leave the American League East right away, but in just talking initial reactions here, the American League Central has 4 teams, the only division in baseball right now with 30 plus wins.
I love that. I'm a big fan of this. I like looking at it. You know, when you just pull up the standings and you're checking stuff out. I like looking at it. I like that they're all good at home. I like that they're, on average, around 500 on the road. I like that we haven't seen the best out of the Royals yet, and they're in 4th place. I don't think we've seen the Royals yet. I don't think they're there yet.
Well, like I said, we're knocking on the door of June, so we're going to be past the point of being like, well, it's still early. Like at some point, sooner or later, we're going to have to start talking about the Royals maybe being a team that's only, not to say they're incapable of going on a run, but maybe we have to look elsewhere in the division for a team to crown down the road. Because I mean, I tell you what, this Tigers team, we talked about him a little bit last episode with Tarek Skubal and everything he's doing in that offense. Like, my goodness, I don't think
the most wins in baseball, man.
That's the best team in baseball. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm talking about. This American League makes no sense. I mean, the Tigers being good, I think, was predictable, but I don't think
Not this good.
Yeah, now a third of the way through the season, I don't know if I had them pegged as the best team in not just the American League, but all of baseball.
And I don't feel like the Twins or Guardians are even playing that bad of ball.
They're hanging around.
Back.
They're
6
hanging
games
around.
Back. They would be tied for first in the West, and they'd be healthily in second place in the East. You know? That's a good division. Also, I'm holding on to receipts on the Guardians, by the way.
Oh, please expand. Please share.
I'm holding on to receipts because I recall in a group chat that a lot of people were out on the Guardians and they said that they weren't very good. I believe we were talking over-unders and we were talking overall win total this year, which before the season was 82.5. And I said I was hammering that over. I'm not sitting here saying they're going to win the division, but I think it's the way the East is performing. I think they could definitely sneak into a wild card.
This is for the Guardians or
The
for
Guardians.
the okay.
I was holding on to that. I'm holding on to those receipts.
For a second, I thought you were talking about the Mariners. The American League West leading Seattle Mariners.
True.
No, I'm with you though. I mean, that's I do recall. I do declare that you were not wanting to sleep on the Guardians. Fair enough. It may
I'm
not
not
matter,
standing up. I'm not standing up, but I'm
you're not going to die on that hill.
I'm laying there with my eyes open. I'm not sleeping. I'm
Well,
just laying there.
I mean, you're gonna have to.
I'm awake.
Well, that sounds a little bit like riding the fence because you're saying I'm not gonna die on the hill of the Cleveland Guardians, but in the same breath saying I'm keeping receipts. Watch your mouth.
I'm keeping receipts on the win total, but I don't want this to be misconstrued. I don't want this to be digested as if Nate is calling the Guardians the best team in the AL. That's not what I'm trying to say. But 82.5 was, I think, a bit of a disgrace. I think that was a bad line. I think that was a smack in the face.
Was it though? Because I think you and I both. I mean, I don't remember how you had the Central finishing out. I had the Royals winning the division, and if I recall, did you have the Tigers winning the division?
No, I had the Guardians.
Oh, you did. Okay, so I stand corrected.
The Guardians, Royals, Tigers finishing third. All the way. By the way, these win totals are crazy. 82.5 for the Guards, 82.5 for the Royals, 83.5 for the Tigers, 83.5 for the Twins. We're looking at potential overs for all of them. Suck on that.
I would love, and I may change my mind about this tomorrow. But in this moment,
that's what I'm saying. I'm not willing to
in this moment where I sit right now on May 29th at 10:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
It's late.
I want 3 American League Central teams in there. I want 3 American League Central teams because I can tell you what, my A's, I don't know how many more times I can go to bat for you this year.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more I can defend you guys. You're falling on your face. You're 1-9 in your last 10. You lost 3. You've currently lost 3 straight. You've given up 336 runs, which is second worst to the Rockies. who may as well have already given up 600 runs this year. So if this is what the A's are going to be, and I know I've joked and said like,
why
oh,
do they suck at home so bad? What's that about?
Severino was on to something. You know, if this is like, well, no, what I was saying is, you know, I joke around that while the A's just giving the league a head start so they can respond with a triumphant
It's a bit of a yoke.
bounce back
Yeah.
into a wild card spot. I don't think this is a team that's capable of doing that,
You
and
didn't
it's
actually
disappointing
have
me.
them in the wild card though.
I did.
On hot takes?
Did I not? I'm like 90% sure.
I feel like you've been like
No, I would-
strongly
I would have had no. I definitely put them in. Come on, now you got me second guess myself. I definitely had, I've been banging the drum all season. Here we go, 2025 picks. Yeah, they were my final wild card spot.
That is crazy. That's
Well,
did you get a little caught up in like the hotness of hot takes? You feel looking back?
no, I had my reasons.
You got lost in the sauce a little bit.
I had my reasons, and I stood on that ground, and they're just crumbling before our eyes. But I'm not giving up on the A's yet.
They look good. They look
You know
better
what's-
than they have.
You know what's crazy? You can go ahead and laugh all you want. The Sacramento Las Vegas A's. They're in last place, but they're only 8.5 games back in the division. The Red Sox are 9.5 games back in their division. So
Who's laughing now?
who's got a better shot at making the postseason as of today? Math would tell you the A's. Let's revisit the East real quick. Putting a bow on this. Yankees. Talk to me about your Yankees. Is this? I mean, I know it's early, technically still, and I know that I said we can't say early for much longer. Once it hits June, that's out the window. So technically, it's still early. But is this the Yankees division this year?
I think Cashman has to have a really good deadline.
What? Well, talk to me about what weaknesses you're seeing, because the best run differential in baseball.
Yeah,
They're like you said, they're manufacturing run. They're not necessarily having to rely on hot streaks from power bats.
Yeah, they're playing better defense. They lack righties in their lineup. They lack anybody outside of Judge from the right side and Goldie. Like there's just not a lot of depth. They really don't take advantage of lefties the way they should. And what's weird is that like in years past that they've been like too righty heavy. So maybe Stanton coming back helps that, but like there's like this kind of like a little bit of a log jam at DH when he comes back, because like Rice is hitting enough to get his fair shake, but obviously like Goldie is at first and really good defensively. So like I don't know what that looks like. They're forcing DJ LeMahieu right now. I think he gets DFA'd long before the deadline at this rate. I think LeMahieu's dead in the water. He looks awful. So I don't know. There's no third baseman on the market that they can go and get. Chances are they're going to have to look at second base. So that means Jazz is probably going to move to third.
That's what I saw today. Yeah.
So it's stuff like that, and then I am hesitant on Carlos Rodon. I know he looks really good so far this year.
You're waiting for the shoe to drop?
I kind of am. Yeah, I kind of am. Kind of waiting for some people to come back down to earth too. Like Trent Grisham's been nice. This has been fun, but you're not a 2-hole hitter every day, and that's kind of what Boone is throwing out there. But I don't know. The rest of the division just doesn't look tough enough. I do think that like the Rays front loading all of their home games right now because of trying to avoid rain late in the season. I think that's going to kind of bring them back down a little bit. I could see the Red Sox like playing well enough to creep back up into like a second spot. But yeah, I kind of feel like the Yankees already have this division.
Ooh, I'm going to clip that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to clip that one.
You brought it up.
That's fair. Putting a bow on this question for you. Give me ignore standings, ignore win-loss records.
Okay.
Give me your top 2 teams that aren't currently division leading teams that you're going to be excited about most / have your eye on the most moving forward now that we're a third of the way through the season. Non-division leading teams in the American League.
Can I say why? Like, it doesn't have to be a positive thing. I'm just going to have my eyes on them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where they're at in their respective division standings. Just 2 teams that you're going to have your eye on.
One bad team, I'm going to have my eyes on the Rangers because I think that they have a lot of guys that they can sell off. If they don't figure it out, I think they could have a pretty big sellers deadline.
You think the Mariners have
names to impact? Like I could see DeGrom pitching in the playoffs wearing a different uniform. I could see Eovaldi wearing a different uniform.
Yeah, let's get the Sox hot and bring our son back home. We need to bring him back home.
I could see some of these names, Jake Berger. Like I could see some of these guys going and being, but like Jake Berger is one of those, no disrespect. Hey, say it.
Hey, no disrespect.
You just shrugged it when I said Jake Berger. So you have to follow it up with no disrespect.
Hey, yeah, I'm in Jake Berger, no disrespect.
Bro pops 25, 30 home runs, man. Like that's a beneficial piece somewhere. So I have my eyes on them just because I think that they could really, like, they have pieces on their roster that could really impact some buyers if they don't start figuring it out, which is a really big disappointment because coming into the season, like, I think everyone that had their head on straight was looking at that lineup and was excited. So
correct me if I'm wrong. I had them
kind of annoying.
I had them in the World Series, did I not?
Yo.
Yeah, I sure did.
This could be your worst prediction.
Had them winning the West.
I had them winning the West.
And in the World Series. Yeah, crazy. All right. Other team, Rangers and who? And then we're moving on.
Royals, because I think they're really good. And
you think there's something, you think they're just brewing. They're just
I think that, yeah, it's just like a volcano. Just like, hey, there's stuff that's going on in there. It could blow. They could pop off. And you're responsible for so many.
Bro, real quick on the volcano. Have you seen this? Not to like name drop products here, but did you see this whole, I think it's like the Google AI video stuff?
No.
It's called like VO3 or something. Anyway.
Okay.
I saw a video the other day where it was like this AI video, and I could kind of tell it was AI. That's the scary part.
That's what's scary, and it's
I've got an eye for this stuff because I mean social media is literally my job, so I'm seeing like these fakes and not fakes like all the time. But this new thing they came out with, crazy, and there was a video of a guy where he's like, he was pretending, the video was pretending as if the guy was an influencer, and he had a YouTube channel, and the video was, all right, guys, for today's like reckless stunt, I'm going to be the first influencer to jump into an active volcano. And a guy just turns around and jumps into a volcano. And I'm like, there's like a 60-year-old out there right now that's sending this to every member of their family saying,
100%, fully falling for it.
Look at what's happening to our youths.
Yeah, the freaking youths,
Crazy.
man.
So that's all I was saying about. You mentioned a volcano. It made me think of that.
Tricky. Yeah, Royals. Just because I think pitching's really good.
Well, we know the pitching.
They just need a couple bats, bro. Just need a couple bats. Get some support.
Also, Bobby Witt, our guy Bobby Witt, he's having a good year, but I'm gonna need
more juice.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a little more juice from our guy Bobby Witt.
Yeah,
we know what he's capable of. We know what's in there.
Yeah, we talked about our boy Jack coming up too.
Get our guy Jack up there.
Yeah, and there could be some pieces that they add. So same thing with the Orioles. You know what I mean? Like those are like there's some names on there, some impact names that are going to be up for grabs at the deadline. That say, hey, I'm going to buy low on this cat. And
I don't know
watch
if
him pop off at some point for some team.
You're talking about the Orioles selling off?
Yeah.
I think the Orioles are allergic to making transactions, whether it's adding or subtracting. They just say, these are the guys we've got, and this is who is on our team, and we're not going to change that.
They're probably not wrong. Cedric Mullins hitting a postseason home run for the Kansas City Royals.
I've seen Cedric to the Phils floating around a little bit.
That'd be tight. I like that more.
Time will tell.
That more. Ryan O'Hearn. He's got a little juice.
I keep saying last thing. True last thing on this whole AL talk. I heard on the broadcast, I guess it would have been yesterday, somebody said that he's going to be like the hottest or like most sought after bat at the deadline. I'm like, is this really no? Hey, no disrespect, Ryan O'Hearn. No disrespect, obviously, but this is what we have to look forward to at the deadline. Is Ryan O'Hearn? Again, no disrespect. Want to really emphasize that, really drive that home. But
I mean, I brought up Jake Burker earlier, so I don't really have a ton of room to talk. But
no, but I mean, this is like what's being floated around out there.
More impact arms that are available at the deadline than bats.
I guess. Speaking of arms, Bryce Harper got hit in his the other day and didn't look like it felt very good. By the way, did he play in tonight's game? I don't think he did.
They had a doubleheader today, didn't they?
They sure did. He sat
didn't
out.
Play neither?
Well, that's what I'm checking to see. He sat out. Well, they lost by 6. So I'm guessing not, because if he was in there today, he would have. My young Prince Bryce would have won him the game. Can I just find a box score, man? Like, holy cow! Everything but the lineup. Yeah, my young Prince Bryce was not in the game tonight, so that explains it. But yeah, Spencer Strider comes up and in on him, and it's all sorts of nonsense about, well, you came in on him intentionally. Folks, this was his, correct me if I'm wrong, 3rd start of the season.
Yeah.
You don't think Spencer Strider's still trying to iron some things out? You think in his 3rd start of the season, he's going to put himself in a position to possibly get ejected from a game? Going after a guy who, like I've said before, has matured well beyond his years. This is not the Bryce Harper of old. So what reason would Spencer Strider have for coming after Bryce Harper?
I don't know. He's pretty adamant in his post-game comments that, like, Bryce is one of the best players in the game. Why would I do that?
He said, he is my king.
Yeah.
I wish he was on our team.
Something like that. I think
he's better than anybody we have.
Side note, I'm going to expose the group chat a little bit. Is do other people out there think Spencer Strider is a little corny? A little bit of an odd duck? Is that a thing?
I think he marches to the beat of his own drum, but I don't know if I'd go as far. I mean,
Why is this a narrative that I haven't heard before?
I haven't really heard it either. I mean, there's plenty of other examples of corniness in baseball.
Plenty.
I mean, you don't even have to look outside of the division.
You don't.
And that's a good starting point. But this narrative is new to me. But no, this whole Spencer Strider Harper thing was a big nothing burger.
Also, side note on this, when Bryce got hit, I don't know if you heard the broadcast, John Kruk was like, "Oh, and that surgically repaired elbow also." I don't think that plays a factor.
Well, it's worth noting.
I don't think it plays a factor.
Maybe not. I mean, it just depends on where you get hit, because they talk about it all the time. When you get hit and you're not wearing an elbow guard, they say you just hope to get hit on that fatty
True
stuff.
Too. I don't think he's ever really had an elbow guard, has he?
Shin guard, I know.
Shin guard for sure.
Philly fanatic.
He's also worn long sleeves for like the last, I don't know,
That's
3 or 4
point.
years.
Interesting point.
Does he think that works the same as an elbow guard?
I don't know. He also occasionally will go no BGs. He broke that out in a game the other day. Got a hit.
I got to be honest. I used to love to do that as a player. That was fun.
Just kind of frees you up a little bit mentally, physically.
Yeah. For my last 30, I'm taking these batting gloves off. I'm rubbing my hands in the dirt. I'm choking up. I'm going to slap something to the right side.
Slap this the other way. Yes, every time. Every time.
I'm going to buy myself a little bloop over the first baseman.
There you go.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair question in the chat. At what point are we getting extreme on all these guards? To your point,
we've crossed that point, man. It's gone.
Last episode, was it? You were talking about Acuna's. Well, it was a knee guard. I don't think I've ever seen
knee guard guy.
I don't think I've ever.
He's covered from
That's
kneecap
crazy.
to toe. It's too much.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, if there was a guy that was going to do it, that would probably feel a need to do it, it would be Acuna.
I wonder if you were to ask Acuna like who his favorite player was growing up, and I bet he would say like Yoenis Cespedes. You know,
he'd probably tell you like a transformer name or something.
Yeah,
I think that's what he's really. I think that's what he's really going for, or like Bionicle. You remember Bionicle back in the day?
I remember.
Come on, I know you know Bionicle.
I don't,
bro. All right,
I remember Barnacle Boy.
That is definitely not the same, dude. You know Bionicles?
No,
they came in like these. They came in these tubes.
Put it on the screen.
I gotcha. Here we go. If you're listening, I'm sorry. Now this is a good reason to check out YouTube. Here we go.
Good reason to just check out. We haven't talked baseball in a while. Talking toys. What is
this? Here you
go. A movie?
You don't remember these Bionicles?
Wow, that's a nostalgic pick right there.
Do you remember these now?
I remember those cup things, yeah.
Yeah, like the plastic tubes they came in. These things
I don't think I ever really had the patience to build one of those.
Nor did I, and I never really played with them, but I at least
I wasn't a Lego guy either.
I knew of them.
Yeah. I recall. Oh, it is Lego. Look at the bottom
yeah.
sticker.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought you knew that part. Yeah, Lego Bionicle Lego set. Yeah, how about that? But yeah, that's essentially.
I played outside.
You watched Star Wars at home and you liked
it.
Did.
Sure did.
Relax.
Sure did. Luke Skywalker's my guy.
Acuna is Bionicle. That's
you just watched baseball documentaries since the age of 3.
I sure did. Yeah. So the whole
Watching
Spencer.
Ted Williams hitting videos at 3.
The science of hitting. I'm sitting there taking notes on my Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah.
No. Last thing on the Harper thing. Actually, no. I'm done.
He's tough, man. He got hit in the face not too long ago and got right back up. Have you seen? I told you about that video, by the way, where it had like Bryce Harper and LeBron side by side, like LeBron flopping and Bryce Harper taking a fastball to the face, and it started a timer of who got off the ground first. and Bryce Harper was up like a
Oh,
full 2
no.
minutes before LeBron.
I'm not even surprised. That's still hilarious, though. That's too good. But yeah, Spencer said I'm not a complete sociopath. I have some empathy. Harper should be back any day. So yeah, this is a big nothing.
I don't need this. I need spice. This is a rivalry. Just like, what happened?
Oh, well, speaking of our young,
he's like, get off my plate.
Speaking
I was
of
trying to come in.
Yeah. Speaking of our young Prince Bryce, Orlando Arcia got DFA'd the other day. I just wanted to put that out there, and got picked up by the juggernaut Colorado Rockies. So good for Orlando Arcia. Glad to see the trajectory of his career has really just taken off. Anyway,
Love those opportunities.
Speaking of a guy whose career might take off, Alexis Diaz was traded to the Dodgers, so he might be getting a ring this year. That news broke today.
So annoying. I'm so annoyed.
I mean, when you saw the name Alexis Diaz pop up, you saw traded, and you see Dodgers, how surprised can you really be? Especially when you take into account, like, let me check here, but Tanner Scott has not been looking all that sharp. But I want to confirm. I don't want to, no disrespect. I don't want to.
No disrespect.
I don't want to misspeak. I don't want to talk down on the man's name. He's got a family after all. But yeah, Tanner Scott has not been looking good this year. He's got a 4.62, a whip of 111, 0-1 on the year. He's got 10 saves, 4 holds. But yeah, he's had some freaking stinker outings the last week and change. In fact, yesterday,
I really like that teams are willing to do like a buy low trade way before the deadline. I like it.
You said you like it.
I like, because it's like, let's try and buy low, see what we can squeeze out of this guy. Maybe we're geniuses. And then maybe it gets to the deadline and we're like, yeah, that guy stunk. Whatever. No harm, no foul. You know what I mean? They've obviously seen something in him in the past. I mean, he was good with Cincinnati a few years ago. Last year was a clunker.
All-star in 2023.
Yeah, this year is off, obviously, to a rough start. I believe he's a free agent in our fantasy league, and he has totaled like -5 points on the year. But we'll see. I don't know. Put him in a 6-inning role and put him in a bullpen with a ton of other dudes that just are dudes. See what happens. If nothing happens, whatever. Who cares?
And let me just say, like, I'm not suggesting that this is the Dodgers' attempt at, or it's not their fix for the way Tanner Scott's been pitching necessarily, but it's another option for them to entertain, considering they already have like a dozen.
Yeah.
So that's that.
All the closers. Like, I bet if we were to look up the number of guys that had saves in the year 2023, there's probably like 7 or 8 of them that are now Dodgers.
That's a safe bet.
I think that's a good line. I'll put it at 6.5. And I'll let you take the over or the under.
Dustin May. Could we say he had saves at any point in 2023? No, he would have been in the rotation by then, right? Or was that the year he was out?
I'm gonna look my way, you look your way.
2023. No, he was there. Had no saves in 2023. I don't need to go through the whole bullpen, but Lou Trevino definitely had saves. Right? Would have had, yeah, definitely had saves in 2023.
Okay, I found it. Wait.
I'm not going through this whole stuff.
Oh, I'm gonna. Okay, so Alexis Diaz,
Lou Trevino didn't even pitch.
37 saves in 2023.
Yeah, all-star year. Lou Trevino did not pitch in 2023, so he's out.
Okay.
Are we really doing this right now?
I'm just curious. Evan Phillips, he's on the list.
Yeah. Alex Vesia. I mean, he was on the team, but
On the list. Tanner Scott.
right, Alex Vesia had.
Was that 3?
Well, I don't know.
that
Did Alex
4?
Vesia have stats or saves in 2023?
I don't even know if he did his thing back then.
He had one save. Count it.
Count it. Brusader Gratterall, that's 5.
Brusdar Gratterall.
Kirby Yates, that's 6.
Would you put it at 5.5?
Mm-hmm. No, 6.5.
One more. Did you already say Tanner Scott?
Yeah, I already said Tanner Scott.
All right. Well, somewhere on their IL, I'm sure you've got.
I need this now. We're right there.
Oh my gosh.
I need it. Trying to remember the rest of their bullpen. We out of names?
Trying to see who's on their IL. They've got like a whole staff on their IL.
It's true.
Oh, Blake Trinan. Did you say Blake Trinan?
No, I didn't. 7. Boom.
Michael Kopech.
Way over.
Smash the over.
That's huge.
That's huge. That's a great point. Or a great
That was a fun fact. That was a fun little stat.
fun stat is what I was going for. Yep. All right, let's talk credit. Seiya Suzuki, our first recipient of this week's credit cannon. Seiya Suzuki hitting 380 with 4 homers, 17 ribbies, and an OPS of 1233 over the last 15 days.
Wow.
The first player to reach 50 RBIs this season. This stat
What you got for me?
has left 103 runners on base this year,
What?
which surprisingly is the 11th most in baseball.
Who
And
has?
still, Seiya Suzuki.
He's left 103.
103 runners on base this year and still leads the league in RBIs.
But is still only in 11th place for that stat. Who's first? By
Which
the way?
is
If you have
crazy.
that pulled up, that'd be great.
I don't even know how I'd find that.
How'd you find him?
It was just a stat that I saw that I came across.
You're just willy-nilly reading out stats. Well, I mean, it helps when the guy in front of you is hitting the way he's hitting and has a 388 on base, and then Ian Happ has a 347 on base. You know?
Oh, here we go.
Yo, the Cubs are...
Oh, here we go. Nolan Arenado and Vinny Pasquantino. Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, 112.
Nolan.
112 for those two. But still, the fact that he's leading the league in RBIs means he's still capitalizing enough to make a difference. And boy, has he been going off these last 2 weeks.
That's right.
Brandon Lau is hitting 385. 5 points higher than Seiya Suzuki over that 15-day stretch. He's hitting 385 with 6 homers, 10 ribbies, and an OPS of 1226 in that span. He is currently riding an 11-game hitting streak for the second place Tampa Bay Rays, and pretty sure I just saw a hit moments ago. So make it 12 for Brandon Lau.
It's good to see. It's good to see because like it was a couple years ago where everyone was like, "Oh, this guy can hit," and then it was like a couple years of like poop.
Yeah, no poop for Brandon Lau. Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure he's regular, but in terms of statistical output, no poop.
Still hitting only 250, by the way.
Well, you got to start somewhere, and he's hitting 385 over the last 2 weeks. So good for Good
Started
for you.
somewhere bad. Now it's good. No poop.
No poop for Brandon Lau. Noah Cameron of the Kansas City Royals has made 4 starts in his young career. According to OptaStats, Noah Cameron of the Royals is the second left-hander in MLB's modern era to pitch at least 6 innings while allowing no more than 1 run in each of his first 4 career starts. The other was in 1981, Fernando Valenzuela. So good company for Noah Cameron.
I've heard of him.
As mentioned in that nugget from OptaStats, 6+ in each of his 4. He's logged outings of 6.1. Nah, I'm not going to say 6.1. That's just what it says. 6 1/3, 6 1/3, 6 2/3,
Embarrassing.
6 1/3. I'm just reading what I'm seeing on the screen. Relax.
6.1.
And 16 strikeouts across those 4 starts. So he's getting outs via contact and making it work.
Nice. Love to see it. Royals pitching.
Royals pitching.
As good as certain.
Next up, one of Nate's favorites, Robbie Ray. On
Your
the year,
most punchable face.
well,
You gonna take it back?
I mean, just because he's pitching well over the last
Doesn't mean you don't want to punch him.
month or two doesn't change that fact. Robbie Ray, since April 26, is 4-0 with an ERA of 1.62 and 44 strikeouts in 6 starts.
Robbie Ray.
Going back to that April 26th mark, he's logged outings of 7 innings, 7 innings, 6 innings, 6 innings, 7 innings, 6 innings, which maybe to you doesn't sound all that impressive, but in an age where okay, Nate's pulling up his headshot.
Look at it.
And it's super washed out. So just take our word for it.
You still want to punch it?
No, I thought we're out of the punchable face thing.
I didn't agree to that.
Yo, you definitely said that. You said let's walk that back, and now it's becoming like the inconvenience thing, like the super major inconvenience. You know what I'm talking about? Like the condiment pack opening wrong.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I think that Robbie Ray, as good as he's pitching, still deserves to have his towel damp every time he gets out of the shower. Talk about an inconvenience.
With like a slight mildewy smell
That's
that sticks on you when you dry off. That's no fun.
Right. That's the worst.
In the chat, someone's wondering, when is the modern era? That began, the start of the modern era
Great question.
is marked by the year 1901 on.
Great question. So that's a long time.
Going back 124 years. Yes, so Robbie Ray has been exceptional going back to April 26th. Really on the season, he's been pitching very well, but going back to that, call it a month. We'll call it a month plus. Been pitching very well. Another arm that's been looking very good.
Bang. Bang. Bang.
Joe Ryan. Did I get you at that last one? I saw you jump up a little bit.
No, I said bang right when you did it. So
okay.
I was correct. You were wrong.
Whatever you say, guy. Whatever you say. Joe Ryan, going back to April 27th, not 26th, like Robbie Ray. April 27th is 4-0 with an ERA of 1.50 and 44 strikeouts in 6 starts. Eerily similar numbers to Robbie Ray's during that span.
Deece.
On the season, Joe Ryan has accumulated a WAR thus far, a B WAR of 2.1, 5-2 on the year, an ERA of 2.57, and a WHIP of .825 with 72 strikeouts.
Real good, man.
Strikeout numbers looking very good thus far. Going back to that April 27th mark when he made his 7-inning start against the Angels, the Los Angeles, California Angels of Anaheim, LA, Orange County,
West
Coast, California. He had 11 strikeouts, and then 8 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts, 9 strikeouts, and then 4 strikeouts, 5 strikeouts. But those last two outings were against the Guardians and Rays, who have been playing good ball, so a little bit of a understanding there. But Joe Ryan, congratulations on your debut to the Critic Cannon. Robbie Ray, don't really care. Whatever. Actually, all these guys making their debut, but Robbie Ray,
look at us.
Whatever.
Spreading the love.
Closing the book here.
Close it.
Ronel Blanco of the Houston Astros set to have TJ and will be out for the remainder of the 2025 season.
Tough, man.
I mean, you hate to see any guy like that go down, but
that's innings, that's
yeah,
140, 150
that's
innings.
That's fair. Because I was going to say, in terms of quality, I don't know what you'd be getting from him the rest of the year anyway, because he wasn't off to that great of a start. Sure. But at the end of the day, innings are
important,
are valuable. Those are important.
Yeah, they're going to have to find that elsewhere. So I'm curious to see what they do. Had him on the fantasy squad for a little bit. I think I shopped him around. No one wanted to bite.
Now would be the time that you'd try to shop him around and try to fleece somebody. That's how you trade, man.
Hey.
Just own it.
Still haven't won the league, so.
That's fair. That's fair. Lastly here, AJ Smith-Shawver.
Yo.
You never like to hear about a guy feeling a pop.
You don't. I feel like that's just one thing and one thing only.
Happened today in his start against the Fightin' Phils. Not good.
Bro. What's going on?
Put him on the 15-day IL, if I'm not mistaken, and presumably will require a longer time than that, if not the rest of the year.
What's wrong with what's in the water?
I don't know.
It's injury galore. All the time. All the time someone's getting hurt down there. When's the last time their whole roster was ready to go?
I don't know the answer to your question.
It's too bad.
I too am curious.
Yeah. Go Phils?
Go Phils. Go Phils.
Tough.
I'm not proud of myself for picking the Braves to win the division, but
did I?
What can you do?
I don't remember any of my picks. It's clear that I don't really stand firm on anything.
You picked the Phils out of the East. You had the Phils. Honestly, Nate, I'm gonna give you some credit here. You had a well,
the AL East is
no. I was just gonna say the National League. You had the Phils, Cubs, and D-backs, but then I completely forgot that we'd had that whole saga with you picking the D-backs to win the West. Which I mean,
that was hot. That was
it's
spicy.
hot, and as of right now, it's
still
not
time.
Like there's still time. But I think if we're going,
I had the Rockies and Marlins in the right spot. So
I think if you were to grade our National League picks, showing some love to the National League, we went heavy on the AL earlier. I think if you were to grade our National League picks, I'm probably passing with the slightly higher score.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, just from like appearance's sake, I'm not saying, I'm not talking like win totals at the end of it all, but like if you saw my picks of the Braves, Cubs, and Dodgers, you're going, okay, yeah, not terribly spicy, but you're going Phils, Cubs, D-backs.
We'll revisit this as we always do, and we'll recap. And we'll bring out receipts. So we'll see.
We'll see. And
We
we'll
shall.
see you guys early next week.
Yeah. You got another wedding this weekend?
Good one, guy. No, I'm hanging.
So many friends.
I'm majority of these aren't my friends. It's hers. Chill, bro. No, I'm laying low this weekend. As I know
Nice.
for now. It may
Nice.
change. I don't know.
Good for you. You need it.
That's funny
did.
though, because you were calling me out for being
Recharge.
the least traveled person out there. So I don't. Which is it, guy?
Yeah.
Am I gone every weekend, or am I uncultured, untraveled? Well, I mean, what is it?
Well, I mean, it's just rinse repeat on those places, you know?
I like what I like. What can I say?
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. My butt's getting in a pool this weekend for sure.
Shout out to all the pools, man.
Yeah, big time.
No disrespect to the indoor pools, but it's time for the outdoor pools to really shine.
I mean, a massive disrespect to the indoor pools. Let's be real.
That's fair. Massive disrespect to the indoor
I mean,
pools.
what? It
Hey,
stinks.
They're
It's always wet.
they're there for us at our lowest point when we've got seasonal depression. Well, you don't get seasonal depression, but out here on the East Coast when it's mushy
I
and,
beg to differ
and
because,
snowy and gray for the 800th straight day, an indoor
Yeah.
pool actually sounds nice.
I think there's like an opposite depression because it's so hot that when I just come home and everything's sweaty. There's a level of depression there. You stink every day. I smell every day. I get a shower all the time.
Have you seen that video that's been floating around where it's like we're getting to that point of the year where the sun starts to sound like this and it's some guy playing the harmonica? Like, you go out, you look up at the sky and it's just sweltering at like 9 a.m. We're quickly approaching that point. Well, you're already
Sure
there,
are.
but
We're there. That's why I'm getting in the pool.
shout out to the pools.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Cool.
We'll see you guys. Have a great weekend.
Good stuff today. Super out of pocket today. I hear
We'll
pots and
see
pans.
ya.
She said
Well,
she's picking up
that's-
dinner, but
that's
I'm
a no
still,
Mickey D's.
Still hearing pots and pans. Every time.
Maybe
Every
she's
recording.
heating it up. I don't know.
Every time.
We have been talking for a long time. Maybe she's heating it up in the oven or something.
I
Who
don't know.
knows?
I got a text saying, I'm picking up dinner. See you soon. Pots and pans. Unbelievable.
I'm curious. You're gonna have to let me know.
I will. Honestly, I'm going to riot if it's not McDonald's. So
I'm looking forward to seeing a picture of a McDonald's hamburger in a lasagna tray
brother,
in the oven.
she suggested salmon burgers. And I was like, no, absolutely not. I need something real.
Well,
That's not
McDonald's
real.
isn't the answer.
You bite your tongue, sir.
I love McDonald's, but you can't say I need something real and then give me McDonald's.
Sure, I can. I
Bounce
meant like
back.
real for my soul, not real for my
Fair.
body.
Fair.
I need
Yeah,
something
'cause-
that did. Yeah.
Soul's far more important.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting super meta now. Let's wrap this up.
What's that mean?
I don't know. I just like using fancy words, fancy phrases.
Whatever, dude. This was a mid podcast.
This is great. This is a banger, dude. Our end of week pods are, like
Just
you said,
loose,
pretty
bro.
out of pocket, man. We're
Yeah.
looking forward to the weekend. So have a great weekend. Enjoy Friday, which is basically the weekend.
If you see a curveball, don't chase it. Your turn.
We love y'all. As always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.